Hello, everyone. How's it going? If you do not know me, my name is Mac Siegel. I'm the Republican presidential candidate for this 2026 presidential race, the third presidency of NCR. Before I even get started today, I want to thank everyone for coming, especially CBS and Fox News. You guys have been great. I would also like to thank, my campaign team, Gary, Dave, and everyone who are, here, especially the Secret Service. They've done a great job. And lastly, I'd like to thank my supporters, you guys, for tuning in today. These past few weeks have been stressful, There's been a lot of speculation. Oh, what presidential candidate's greatest? Who's a liar? Who's a truth teller? Who's been buying in political bargaining? In truth, we all have. We've been bargaining to win the presidency. Now, I'd like to just go over a few things that my voters acclaim I've done. For example, me being a felon. Under the Sidney Blair administration, there's been a lot of talks about Max Siegel. Max Siegel's not a felon. The felony was just prosecuted under the radical administration. Take it for example. If someone lives in a criminal environment, they are deemed a criminal, regardless of what they do. So you don't actually have to commit a crime to be accused of a crime. And excuse the kids in my background, I'm babysitting. I was actually supposed to not be here today, but I was dragged by Kono. So yeah, blame him. And she thinks she can speak Spanish. But that's just some clarity in case you guys thought I was some kind of hardened criminal trying to run for the presidency to enforce crime. Yeah, no, that's not me. That's just a logical fallacy. My opponents, not even Jason Key, but Bob3, has continuously targeted your ideas to vote for whoever you want. He has continually attempted to dismantle your freedom to express your opinion, express your thoughts, express your ideas, and he has bribed people with money to vote for him. I don't bribe you with money. I bribe you with my knowledge. I'm telling you, as a presidential candidate, I have experience inside of the house that we are all running to live inside of. I am the only one out of what is going on? I'm the only candidate out of all three of us, and I don't have a script. I'm reading off of my own mind. I am the only candidate out of all three of us, myself, my good friend Jason Key, and Bob3, who has sat next to the president every single day, a senior advisor to the highest ranking official in American politics. Who else would you want to run the country? Bob3, the guy who ran Detroit, ran it to hell, the crime rate's higher than ever, a person who ran as the governor of Michigan for 1 year before he got booted out by some radical neocon, a guy who went to community college. I graduated from Harvard Law School. Harvard Law, the most prestigious law school in the country, and a graduate's degree in political science and economics. So for someone who has had firsthand experience, this is not a secondary source. As someone who has firsthand experience in a field of work such as the one that we are all running to acclaim, I can tell you that I am the candidate you'd want to vote for. Now we should go into some policies, right? We have, for example, the crime rate. The crime rate is at a 4% deficit since the Specter administration. Now, you can't say, oh, the Specter is better than Blair because Blair's done this, Specter done X, Blair done Y. Because both are bad, but one is worse, and we have to understand that. We have to understand that the table that they sent out at around March, a week after Blair took office, so it was like March 14th, I'd say. March 7th was when it was around March 14th. She goes, here's our record-breaking table to prove to you that we are doing our due diligence in the DC metropolitan area. She shows a 5% decrease, and please stay away from the fences. She has shown a 5% decrease in crime, and yet just 4 weeks ago, oh my God, Bob, just 4 weeks ago, Sidney Blair was radically shot and killed
Not
Well,
near
it
the
was for an O&B
fence.
video, but she was radically
Do you want me
shot
to be
by a
camera guy?
British national who goes by the YouTube channel of OMB Creates, and she claims that the crime rate in Washington is sufficient. I take I, I take it that you guys would understand that that's a lie, and I take it that you guys feel unsafe. We'd also understand that Bob 3 marginalized groups throughout the entirety of Washington, D.C. to call them stupid and to call them unintelligent for voting for who they want to. And then he storms the White House and he breaks into it with his rampant voters. And I see this guy with a Bob 3 shirt on and 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 AI right there because he uses Gemini now. He probably used Gemini to make that shirt. They storm the White House and they go, "We aren't criminals." I have Jason Key. He's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. He's my friend. But he's been the Secretary of Homeland Security for 4 years, and he is just now trying to impose safety regulations on the Washington Metropolitan Police Department to safely and securely uncriminalize our city. He has 4 years to do that. 4 years and no change. Why do we expect change for him in the next 4 years? Why should we give him a second chance? Why should we? Oh, well, some would say, oh, well, because Jason Key's not a felon. It is just as a felony. And it is raining really hard right now. My internet might time out, but it is just as criminalizing to work under an administration that is so
Yeah, but
incapable
like
of
on my
doing the
way you
job
kind of took my
than
pants.
than calling me a felon
Kind of
for
like
getting
put my
arrested,
pants
you
off.
know? So we really have to understand what we're talking about here, but let's go into some policies.
So I
Number
kind of
one,
some.
housing. Housing is very unaffordable. I know there's like 5, 10 houses in the whole immediate area of here. So one, we'd bring down the price of housing. How do we bring down the price of housing? I asked Bob 3, as well as Joshua Pippinger of Fox News and Friends. We asked him, "Hey, what's your economic policy?" He goes, well, I'm not sure."
He's just a news
Really?
driver.
I'll have Fox News send it out later. But he goes, "Oh well, I'm not sure about my economic policy. All I know is that we want to increase the economy." What is the economy? He goes, well, MPDC is very underfunded and is very underrepresented." Are you serious? MPD, when we're talking about economy? Really?
I
He
don't.
couldn't even tell me what the economy is. He couldn't even tell me what tariffs he wants to impose on a foreign nation. He can't even tell me 5 countries in Eastern Europe. Anyways, and Gary said he
Yeah.
wants to
What are you gonna do?
uh Gary said he wants to be
What you gonna do? Cowboy hat!
cleared.
If you spit again, I will
Why is
cuff
Bob
you!
yelling? Guys, ignore him. Ignore the guy to the left. He's stupid. This is Bob. Oh, Gary wants me to talk about Ronald Red Island.
Alright,
That's
thank
perfect.
you.
I was just gonna get
Did
into that,
nothing
but
wrong.
housing prices, right?
Disgraceful.
So the big thing is
It's fine though.
to lower
Hey,
housing,
Ben.
we'd have to, and I'll open up questions to you guys next, but the biggest thing to
I
lower
don't
housing
care.
prices is you
Stay
have to
back,
target the
ladies chap.
consumers. You have to target the investment bankers that are stealing these houses and using them as model homes and are ramping up the price, right? A, stop that, for example, impose taxes on rich. People who make over 6 figures a month are getting a 60% tax increase. This would enableize them to buy these homes up in our neighborhoods, such as housing suburbs right down the street, and to use them as model homes and strip them away from our working middle class Americans. Secondly, in order to stop the increase in inflation, we'd have to target the consumers. People think, oh, we should target the producers like China, and of course not. We have to drive our consumers to buy more American made products. And thirdly, we have to overcome the drastic economic shift in under overfunded areas like MPD, MTPD, DC FEMS. DC FEMS is like 30 vehicles that they don't use. That's overfunding. Just because they have them doesn't mean they need them. But we'll open this back up to some questions in a bit. But I want to talk about Ron and Grad Island because people think, oh well, I haven't served in the military. I haven't done this, haven't done that. Well, actually, I have. I was the White House Chief of Staff. Me being the White House Chief of Staff, I was also the senior advisor to the president. The senior advisor to the president, if you guys doesn't know, being a national security, domestic security, and foreign security advisor to the president, almost like a diplomat. You have to advise the president on military operations outside of their window, outside of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, outside of the Homeland Security Advisor. You have to advise the president on things that are happening outside of their circle. That was my job. I was the White House Chief of Staff, but I also had 7 other jobs, and that was one of my jobs. So around Red Island, right? There were 7 operators. I met with them. They were great people. They were fantastic. They showed me some of their work. I was like, wow, this is great. Of course, my counterparts are going to say this didn't happen, but it did. And, you know, Bob's stupid. And, it opens the question of where do we defy character? Is it nobility? Is it service? Is it passion? Is it morality? Subjective morality. But I think it's nobility. And those service members on Ronald Island, they have all the nobility and they have all of my respect. I don't see my counterparts going to meet with them. You want to know why? Because they don't care. Bob 3 only cares about money. He paid $1,000, by the way. The guy with the Bob 3 shirt, he just got evacuated from the area because he's crazy. But they paid $1,000 per vote, and I have a clip of this. Also, Danny Wesson and Joe and Pluto Joe, the 2 people who said I wouldn't make it through, I made it through. And look at them. They've been forgotten. They want to vote for me now. Why? Because these people don't understand that when you do things the right way, when you do things the Max Siegel way, they always work. I can tell you right now, on day 1, the crime rate will drop sufficiently in Washington. And I'm not just saying this because I want you to listen. I'm saying it because it's true. All right. Who has a question? Gary or yeah. It's like not much gun violence. I'm gonna be honest. There's like every 5 citizens is like 2 shootings. So I think it's unavoidable. Well, US debt. We keep paying for things that we don't need, like the $1 billion jet from Saudi Arabia. So we'd have to stop spending things on useless things like that. And we'd have to stop funding Israel lobbies. Well, we actually our United States Secret Service deputy director is actually obese, so we'd have to fire him first because he's like a plague, right? One is all in his terms. So we'd have to fire him, and after we fire him, we can get some real stuff done. But we'd have to target the fire from inside the house first. Make the White House safer. All right, I'm gonna ask this guy's question first. What can I do to make the White House safer? So the reason why the area is unsafe is because of the lack of security measures that are being imposed, right? And we can thank Jason Key for this because he controls Homeland
Stay back
Security.
from the fence.
Guys, please stay back from the fence for my agents go crazy. So, firstly, we have to think about,
If you do
and
it another
honestly, it's
time,
going to
you
sound
will go
racist. It
fit.
will. It's always going to. But you have to think about the people that are committing these crimes, right? The people who are breaching the White House. These people, yellow people like Bob 3. Honestly, you gotta arrest them. How can we trust the things you say you're going to do here? Blair didn't follow through. Well, I'm not Blair, right? Okay, I'll address the yellow people thing in a second, but I'm not Blair, okay? You really shouldn't compare me to Blair because Blair's radical. She's stupid, incompetent, honestly. She shouldn't even, she's a DEI hire, honestly. Her vice president hadn't showed his face in like 20 weeks, and this month he goes play fast food worker at Three Guys. So this is the kind of administration we're working with here. I have followed through. You can check my track record. I have many accredited experience. I have many accredited experience backgrounds. The history of this country has never seen a president as accredited as myself. So I'll just tell you now, Blair didn't go to college, so she has no idea what she's doing. What will I do to make MCPD better? I don't know what that is. Slendy. Gary, what are you and Dave talking about? Nuclear energy. Honestly, carbon emissions, air pollution, they're all bad. I'd say nuclear energy is more uh it's more ineffective in terms of air pollution and carbon emissions. You know, France actually blamed us for that. Thank you, Sydney Blair. But I'm not a physicist, so I don't know. Lower gas prices. That's a retailer's thing. People don't like to say it, but it is. One second, guys. All right, foreign affairs. Hire diplomats, hire people that can represent, who are good, but we need diplomats. We need ambassadors. We have like 4, and one of them is the Chinese. Do nothing? Well, I can't do anything. Skibbity Elliott slays. Like, people think gas is like, once we seize the oil, there's nothing much we can do. It's a retailer's thing. It's not $3.99 because we say it is. It's $3.99 because they want it to be. How are you gonna help us speaking in public? We actually have an initiative for that. Foreign affairs. Hire diplomats. Hire people that can represent, who are good, but we need diplomats. We need ambassadors. We don't give them money. We have like 4, and one of them is the Chinese. Do nothing? Well, I can't do anything. Skibbity Elliott slays. Who said we're doing tax fraud? IRSCI doesn't. My main goal to restore the craziness and the disgusting. What? Okay. One, the lower taxes is a tricky thing. Because taxes fund things like schools, police, all that stuff. Lowering taxes means lowering the quality of those things. So I don't know if you want to do that. I won't. In fact, I will This may seem very crazy, but exactly what Blair did to me, I'm going after Bob. I'm going after herself, Chap, and Bob 3. They're all getting arrested. I'm gonna nuke their house like they nuked my house. Bob 3's an idiot. X Bob 3 to count to 10. It's not a threat. I don't care, Gary. It's a legal threat. Yeah. I'm taking the measures into my own hands. I actually have a full cabinet already. Yeah. AI, AI. Bob 3's an idiot. If AI was taking people's jobs, it definitely should have taken Bob 3's because he used Gemini to mock up a fake Twitter post for mine. Personal bias. Let me ask you a question. Is it personal bias or good judgment? Like goatee. Well, it's probably because they can't grow facial hair. I do not have any response to that, Gary. Actually, to make the server more active, that's on Kono. Like, that's not a president thing. That's like a president of the server thing. Actually, we'll be destroying 3 guys if I win. So that's definitely a logical fallacy. If you needed a healthy president, why'd you vote for Blair? And why are you voting for Bob 3? Did you see him? Oh, we'll be creating a committee to help them and actually have $7 billion in funds to give to them when we win. Hey, Skibby, Elliot says, you clearly are a Bob 3 supporter, so let me tell you something. That 1,000 Robux is going to run out very quick. You should have invested it into, like, Kalshi or something, so at least you get the bang for your buck. Because once the 1,000 Robux are gone, Skibby Elliot slays, you're not going to have any more money. You're going to be wondering how to put food on the table, and you won't know because you yeah. Well, you're at my rally. You're paying me regardless if I win or lose. How am I wasting money? I can't spend federal funds. I think the most hated candidate might be me, but that's just because I'm the greatest. So yeah. I have 7 million. No, it's not a waste. We have funds to use. It's called investment. Enforcing corruption in a different agency of law enforcement. Well, for example, the Secret Service is very corrupt. Like I said, the deputy director's fat. Well, GH, you didn't ask me about you didn't ask me about the funds I would be using to help you. You asked me the funds I'd be using to help small businesses. The U.S. has the highest GDP in the world, of $36 trillion. Do I naturally think that? Do I naturally think that I'm a good person? Yeah, I do. I'm not removing people of their jobs. I'm pushing people to get better jobs. No, thank you. Starving citizens. To be honest, I have no comment on that. Uh, I'm modern day Kim Jong-un. You'll be voting for a dictator, so I think your candidate might be modern day Kim Jong-un. Also, the reason why Skibbity Elliott Slays is so stupid is because we don't have a Department of Education, and I will establish that. And we are done here. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Gary.